The little girl. Every morning before going to work, the man came into the little girl's room and gave her a casual kiss. Kezia, the little girl, would wave goodbye to her father. She was afraid of her father and avoided him. She would have a sense of relief when she heard the noise of the carriage growing fainter and fainter down the long road. In the evening, when he would be back home, he would order things to her mother. The little girl's mother would ask her to remove her father's shoes. By the time he had his spectacles on, he would look at Kezia. She would be terrified with that look of his. Well, Kezia, hurry up and pull off these boots and take them outside. Have you been a good girl today? Asked the little girl's father. I don't know, father. Kezia would stutter. Her father got angry at her and told her that if she would stutter, her mother would take her to the doctor. He handed over his teacup to the little girl and asked her to put it on the table. He was so big, his hand and his neck, especially his mouth, when he yawned. Thinking about him alone was like thinking about a giant. On Sunday afternoons, grandmother sent her to drawing room to have a nice talk with the father and mother. But the little girl always found mother reading and father stretched out on sofa, his handkerchief on his face, his feet on one of the best cushions, sleeping loudly and snoring. She sat on a stool, gravely watched him until he woke and stretched, and the time. Don't stare so, Kezia. You look like a little brown owl, he said. One day, grandmother told Kezia that her father's birthday was next week and suggested she should make him a pin cushion for a gift. The little girl stitched 3 sides of the cushion, but what to fill it with? She found some sheets of paper on the bed table in her mother's bedroom. She tore them into tiny pieces and filled up the cushion and stitched up the 4th side. That night, there was a huge hue and cry in the house. Father's great speech for the Port Authority had been lost. Mother asked Kezia, I suppose you didn't see some papers in our room? Oh yes, she said. I tore them up for my surprise. When father came to know, he was very angry on the little girl. He came into the room with a ruler in his hands. I am going to beat you for this, he said. You must be taught once and for all not to touch what does not belong to you. And down came the ruler on the little pink palm. Slash! She began to cry. She clung to her grandmother. What did God make fathers for? She sobbed. Go to sleep, pet. You will forget all about it in the morning. I tried to explain to your father, but he was too upset to listen tonight, said grandmother. The McDonalds lived next door. They had 5 children. The father with baby Mao on his shoulder and the little girls running round and round the flower bed, shaking with laughter. Once she saw the boys turn the hose on him and try to catch them laughing all the time. Then she decided there are different sorts of fathers. Suddenly one day, mother became ill and she and grandmother went to hospital. The little girl was left alone in the house with Alice the cook. That was all right in the daytime. But in the night time, she was afraid of nightmares. As Alice put her to sleep, she told her she was afraid in the dark and that Granny would take her to bed. The same old nightmare came. The butcher with a knife and rope with a dreadful smile. She woke up shivering. See? Her father beside her bed, a candle in his hand. He blew the candle and asked her, "What's the matter?" The little girl told him about the nightmare she saw. "Oh, a butcher, a knife. I want Granny," she said. He bent down, picked up the little girl, and carried her along the passageway to the big bedroom. He put the child to sleep on the bed and lay beside her. He was tired and slept. She crept close to her father, snuggled her head under his arm, held tightly to his shirt. She stayed still. Poor father, not so big after all. Every day he had to work and he was so tired. She stirred suddenly. Father asked, "What was the matter?" She said to him, "My head is on your heart. I can hear it going. What a big heart you have got, father dear." "Thank you very much."